Hello everyone and welcome back to Prestige Reef. It is that time again where I get to moan about the water box. So the water box, obviously you haven't seen for a few weeks. I have done literally nothing with it, and I've done that for a reason. The biggest problem that I have with this tank is, as you can see there's cyano in there, is that I don't have any nutrients in it. And although I'm dosing nutrients, obviously they dropped when I was at Aqua and essentially it killed the coral. So what I've done is I'm quarantining, well, technically I was quarantining 6 fish. I'm now quarantining 5 fish, and I'll explain to you either this video or tomorrow's video. But to get the nutrients back up, what I need to do is I need to put more fish in there. So as you've seen already, I have a powder blue upstairs, I have a wrasse, I have flame angel, a blenny, and a convict tang. Now I also had a lipstick tang. Now the lipstick tang has been removed from that tank and has been put into my second quarantine tank because it stopped eating and it's thin. So I wanted to fatten it up, it didn't like the medication, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to try to do it again. My plan is to film every single day of December. Will I stick to it? Who knows, but it will keep me accountable. So today I will show you the tank and the condition it's in. It's a little bit embarrassing. I know I'm supposed to know what I'm doing. I have always been the problem with this tank. It is about effort and desire. It's not about knowledge with regards to this. So, because I know what I need to do. I need to basically raise the nutrients, chemically will get rid of the cyano, and put more fish in, and that's it. But when you have a whole coral farm to look after, the tank that's the least easy to look after is the one that gets most neglected. Now, the water quality is actually like perfect, other than the nutrients. It's literally exactly where it should be. So today's job is to show you the tank. I'm going to clean all the back glass. I'm going to siphon all the cyano out as much as possible, and then we'll go from there. Right, so rather embarrassingly, this is the current state of the tank. There's a reason you've not seen the last few videos, and that's because I promised I would sort it out, and that is what I'm going to be doing for the next 30 days essentially. You can see that the rocks are still in pretty good condition. There's actually quite a lot of coralline algae growing all over them. The biggest issue I have at the moment is cyanobacteria. Now the reason the acros dies was because my nutrients essentially hit zero nitrate, zero phosphate, and corals don't like that. And cyanobacteria loves it. So what's happened is I have just left the tank because my plan is to add new fish, which are the ones that are currently in quarantine, to increase the nutrient levels. However, obviously I have to wait 30 days before I can do that. The water is slightly hazy at the moment, not because there's anything wrong with it, but because I've literally just scraped all of the glass. Now, it's such a shame to have such a beautiful fish in a tank which is definitely below par. There's nothing actually dangerous about this tank. All the parameters actually, surprisingly, are literally perfect for coral, other than the fact that nutrients keep getting too low. Now, I have been dosing Reef Elements nitrate, and I have also been dosing Fauna Marine's basically the Fauna Marine's phosphate increase product. It is starting to have an effect, but because the cyano has got quite bad, originally it covered literally everything. You can see it's now no longer on the rock. So it is actually improving, but the best way to get rid of it is to just put in ChemiClean, which is what I'm going to be doing. So the first step that I'm going to be doing is cleaning the remainder of the glass, cleaning all of the back wall, because you can see here that that all needs to be removed. I will then let that all go over the overflow into the Red Sea reef mat, which you can see I'm about to need to change. And then once that's done, I will siphon all of the sand off with today's water change. So obviously this tank is nearly 1,000 litres, so I've got 200 litres of water. When I do a water change, I don't actually heat it up. So I let it get to room temperature. So I prepared all this water yesterday, and I let it get to room temperature, and that's enough to not change. I put it in slowly, and then the heaters deal with it. And I've been doing that for 17 years. Not once have I ever heated up the water that goes into the tank. If you just add it slowly enough, the heaters will deal with it for you. Yeah, so my plan is today, siphon that out and do a big water change, and then that should, in theory, you've seen my dirty little secret. Look, see all these are all coral shipments I had the last couple of days, and I have not got rid of the boxes yet. That is it with regards to this. I will show you in tomorrow's video how it looks after all my hard work today, and yeah, we'll go from there. Right, so I better get started with the first job. Now the first job, as I said, is going to be to scrape off all of the, it's a mixture of cyanobacteria, diatoms, algae on the back wall, just to get it like spotlessly clean. As I said, the roller mat will take out the majority of the anything that comes off. The one downside I've found to this tank is that it's nice to have a tank which is so wide, but you can't easily reach to the back. This blade that I use is good enough, but I wish I had an angled blade, because obviously doing that is not the right angle to scrape off a lot of it. It's hard to get a good sort of pressure on it from here, whereas if it was an angled blade, you would be able to scrape it much better. So whoever made this, Aqua, whoever you are, make an angle blade. Trust me, it's so much better. Right, now cleaned off all the back glass, so that should be spotlessly clean when everything settles down. But as you can see, it is like a proper soup of cyano now. Unfortunately, sometimes to fix things, you have to make them worse. So that's what I will be doing today. But as I said, so what I'm going to do in a second, I will turn all the MP40s off, and I'll let all the cyano settle, and then I can siphon off as much of it as possible. Because when using ChemiClean, the best thing to do is to get rid of as much of the issue as you can prior to using it, and then obviously it only has to work on a very small amount. So. Right now I've just done the 200 litre water change where I've siphoned all the gravel. You can see that things look much better already. That doesn't mean they're going to stay looking like this. You can see that the majority of the cyano on the sand has been sucked out. The water is still all hazy. I assume that will probably take, because whenever you mess up the sand, it can go hazy for literally 24 hours sometimes. So what I'm assuming is it will take probably until the morning to clear up, and I can show you again. This is how black the filter roller is. That is like the worst I've ever seen. It's sort of a mix between black and red. I'm using a different colour lens at the moment. This morning I was using a yellow lens, and now it's an orange one, just because the lights have changed slightly. Already, it feels and looks better. Now, if ever you have trouble with a tank and you just don't know what to do with it, and you're sort of like at the very end, one of the best things you should do is firstly a large water change. Now this wasn't particularly large, this was just over 20%. But if you do like a 50% water change, your problem is going to get 50% better. So that's one thing that you can do. But just doing that can actually make you feel so much better about the tank. I feel better about this tank already, just having done something with it. Now, one of the most common things you hear people say is keep your hands out of the tank. And to some extent that is true. But I genuinely believe that the biggest problem with this tank is that I put an auto water changer on it. I put an automatic water changer on it. I put an automatic RO top up on it, where I never even have to fill the barrel. Like once every 6 months I have to fill the barrel. And the less I do with this tank, the less I feel that I need to do. So it's strange, because I have actually gone back to siphoning water out of the tank and putting it into barrels and carrying the barrels and putting them down the drain, and then obviously putting new water back in. And already it feels more like I deserve this tank because I put some effort in. Although people say keep your hands out of the tank, sometimes what you need to do is really get in there and do a deep clean. Now this is not finished yet. What I've done is I've obviously siphoned the sand, cleaned the majority of the glass. I need to blow off all the rocks, that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. I need to then sort out the protein skimmer and replace the reef mat. Then also what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and dial it in so it's silent, because this tank's not been silent for a long time, which I'll be honest with you, drives people mad. Sometimes you don't want to face some of the issues you need. Now there is no guarantee that this tank will look like this in a week's time. I actually don't know what it would look like, because maybe the cyano will come back, maybe dinoflagellates will appear, maybe diatoms. But what I do know is that with your help and me putting out a video every single day, which I am so going to regret saying I'm going to do this, I know that I can get it done. So, because it's not that hard. It's not that hard, it just requires effort. I'm not going to lie, I am already looking forward to showing you my homework. Right now, the final thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean all of the glass with Fritz cleaner. None of the products are in this video are sponsored. They were all things I bought myself. But I'm going to clean all the glass, and also I'm going to use the Fritz cleaner on the cabinet, and then I need to get rid of all of this stuff, because then it will feel like, yeah, it'll start to look as it's meant to do. Right, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. It probably will be a shorter, each of these videos will be slightly shorter than usual. But, Wish me luck with this tank. Wish me luck with the concept of putting out a video every day, because we all know that I'm not going to do it, but I will try my best. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Have a good week, and I will see you next time.